Good evening and welcome to Letters from the Light Side. My name is Annie Conboy. I'm a medium and psychic, and it's the 22nd of April 2021. It's a bit hard to believe we're almost at the end of April already and time is flying by. So welcome to this broadcast. You can pick it up on live on Facebook and on YouTube, or you might be watching on catch up on Facebook or YouTube. It's lovely to be here this evening to pass on the guidance and inspiration of the non-physical beings who work with me and who try and keep me up to speed with the energy that's going on and what's happening for us on a cosmic level, not just a global level, but a cosmic level. And it's really interesting because just before I was starting, for the past 2 hours, I've just had little bouts of trembles, and I was talking to my guides about what's that about, is it me, is it what's going on, and it is Earth Day 2021 today. I was picking up on tremors in Mother Earth, more eruptions on the way, more disturbance, if you like, in the energy. One of the things that we can do when we're intuitive is we can pick these things up and we can then focus our energy to deal with it, and perhaps to also send positive and light energy. That's why, and thank you for noticing, Fiona, that's why I've got my channeled painting here of Archangel Parashiel. This is Parashiel's energy picture. When I first started working with Parashiel to bring in healing energy, because Parashiel is the Archangel who is helping all healers on the planet and helping all healing that's done on the planet. It was my great privilege to be able to bring in this artwork, which has all of the wonderful colour and the energy that's needed, or that Parashiel expresses. And Parashiel's here tonight, hence I'm wearing green. I always know Parashiel's here when I'm in green. Because this is a time of great healing. It may not feel like it. You may still have been feeling the wibbly wobbly moon energy. You may still have been feeling kind of the restless nights and vivid dreaming. We're doing a lot of ancestral healing through our dream work. We are tapping into the collective unconscious and releasing that energy. That's been ongoing for some time now, and we're not quite scraping the bottom of the barrel yet, but each one of us is helping to release some of the energy that humanity stored up in the earth that is not positive, that's low vibrational, hence the earth having tremors and releases of energy in order to get this transformed and transmuted into positive energy. It also means that we are raising the vibration of the planet. If we clean up the aura and the physical energy of the planet, we raise the vibration, and that is absolutely necessary for the ascension process, for us to go up another level. It's a process that's been going on years and years and years, not just in our sort of recent memory, so the last 50 years or so, but before that, the last couple of 100 years really. We've had this challenge of the Industrial Revolution and mechanisation and technology to deal with, at the same time as trying to have respect for the resources that the Mother Earth gives us, and the ways in which we sometimes extract those resources is painful to Mother Earth, and we're not really squared that circle. Parashiel is trying to help us to understand our energetic connection with the planet. If the planet isn't in harmony, we aren't in harmony, because it's all shared energy. So you may also have felt this week some of the planetary effects of the clearing and cleaning that's going on in the planet, not just in human beings. We're being asked to raise that positivity level, if at all possible, higher and higher, and to start recognizing how we are interacting. Sorry, I'm smiling because Rafe sort of, he always, bless him, he brings in the trees whenever I'm looking for a positive example or a way to explain it. He always brings in the trees. We would not exist without the trees. The trees supply our oxygen. They're also a carbon store. They sort of wash the Earth's atmosphere in a way. They take in our carbon dioxide. So what we emit, they take in, scrub it, break it down, and give it back to us in the way of oxygen. And it's when you start to recognise how deeply we are interconnected with the trees, that you start to recognise it's a physicality, not just an energy connection. If we have no trees, we haven't got oxygen, and we need to be aware of these ways in which the Earth's physicality is there supporting everything we need, and that we contribute back. It's a cycle, and it's a joined cycle of energy. So it's really important when we're thinking about where we are right now in the ascension process to get comfortable with the idea of respect for Mother Earth, and to get comfortable with the idea that we each can play a part in making those energies that we give and receive as clear and as healing and as pure as we can. It's like a sacred trust. Parashiel talks about healing as a sacred trust. We can self-heal, but we can also have the ability to radiate healing energy out towards everything and everyone. But we don't switch it on enough. We're very reluctant to sort of self-heal. I'm laughing because he had me doing a little bit of self-healing today. Something I had been ignoring for about a week, and he said, you really have to sort this out, Annie. And in good form, I said, oh really, do I have to? That's usually my response. So he's making me wear green, as well as doing the self-healing, he's making me wear green, and he's got his energy picture behind him. So he's driving home his point. We hold on to too much. We take life sometimes way too seriously for what's intended. We worry, and we get anxious, and we fret about things that really, if we just left it alone, could take care of themselves. And while we're doing that, we miss the things that are important. Like, if we've got no oxygen, there's no people going to be alive. We miss the importance of the connection with one another and with the planet. He's also had me out in the garden doing a bit of work because I needed grounding. I was missing my connection to the planet. Now I connect to the planet, I'm finding that the tremors are going on because there's little earthquakey stuff happening, and it's like, right, okay. But I understand it. I understand why he does this, for all of us, to try to get us to notice how much in sync we are with the planet, the animal kingdom, and with other human beings. So you might have found that this week human beings were a bit of a pain. You might have had 2 or 3 days of, oh, I don't want to be around human beings. I think the worst day for me was Tuesday, when I was like, oh, human beings, oh, get back. And it's natural when we're trying to bring in balance, that there are going to be times where we just have to step out of the kerfuffle and the drama and go, you know what, just get on with it. I'm doing my thing. And I think that's also for him an important part of the healing message. Healing starts with yourself. You can't help anybody else until you look after yourself. And certainly needing to retreat from the world every now and again. He describes it as like overstimulated, particularly as we've had a long period of enforced retreat, which doesn't feel as good as a retreat when you say, oh, I'm going into retreat. We've had enforced retreat. Now that that's lifted a little, there's a sort of, there can be a franticness about, oh, I need to go here, I need to do that, and maybe getting overstimulated, not recognizing that we've maybe done what we need to do for the day, come back into some quiet and some reflection, and to just take it easy on ourselves. He always smiles and says we're way too harsh on ourselves, and it's true. I think we have in our mind an ego that likes to keep us safe, but it keeps us safe by keep telling us how rubbish we are, that we can't do things, because it doesn't want us to be outside our comfort zone. It doesn't want us to be taking what it perceives as risks. And one of the battles of ascension, though it's not really a battle, it's arriving at a consensus about how much ego influences us and how much our intuition and our spirit speaking through that intuition influences us, gives us the steer, the nudge that we need to take us forward, gives us the nudge to want to understand, and wants to put us on the best path. That's what the spirit's there for, to put us on the best path. The ego doesn't care. It just wants us on the safest path, even if that might make us miserable. It just doesn't care. Whereas the spirit wants us on the best path, because that is when we are at our lightest and brightest. It's not always light and bright. We're human after all, so some days it's doom and gloom. But the spirit nudges us towards seeing what is good in life, not necessarily what we lack and what we feel like we miss in our lives, but to get us to see and understand that there is beauty. Sorry, Rafe's just put the picture in my head. I've got a little cherry tree, tiny tree in the garden, and it's just come into blossom. And so I've been doing some photography with the plants this afternoon, because they'll go into my calendar and my little notes cards and things. But just the fact of observing them and how beautiful they are, and how it's kind of against the odds. I'm not the best gardener in the world. I'm a bit of a brown thumb person. Plants have to be tough around me. Forget to do things that need like water until I hear the plants screaming at me, or my little garden gnome comes and says, you better get on with this. But just that beauty that the blossom brings, and the lift of my spirits. And I feel that this is also an important energy to plug into, that you're being asked to notice the beauty that's not man-made. It isn't man-made. it's there because nature is growing these things. I've also got a nest in the garden, so I've had birds singing and twittering and 5 o'clock the other morning. And when they start up, I have 2 cats who rush to the window bottom and get on the windowsill and they're glued outside the window trying to look for the birds. But it's just so joyous. You know, I might be a bit grumpy. Somebody's thinking, "Oh, shut up! I want to sleep." Um, but you know, it's just the earth, what it gives us, what is so joyful. And that's really, really important right now. Putting yourself into the earth walk and grounding yourself and finding the joy. I was in the park this morning. I've been taking photographs, and I just sat on a bench in the sunshine, and there was a little boy with his parents, um, just running around in sheer joy, and another little girl. Neither of them could have been more than 2 or 3. Another little girl sat with her dad with an ice cream, and I was thinking, to be 2 or 3 again, and to have the whole wide world to explore. Because for a 2 or 3 year old, it doesn't have to be a big space; it just a little bit of space, and it's that joyfulness. The healing that we need to do is to get back to the joy of life, to that miraculous awe of what a beautiful place we live in. And you know, I can remember living in the city, and I didn't have a garden, so I had a window box. And then when I got a little house, again, no garden, but I had plants in pots. Still managed to kill some of them off, sadly, but I'm learning. Just that ability to bring something in that is joyful. I was just looking at the pavements today, and you know, in the odd little corner, there's a little bit of grass just sort of sneaking up through the cracks in the pavement. Wow, just wow, the perseverance of that to sneak in and to make sure it's growing in the middle of a you know, the concrete jungle, so to speak. Blows my mind. um, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because Parashiel's saying, just keep going, because he's reminding me of all these things. He's bringing forward this beautiful healing energy, and I do hope that you can pick some of it up from his energy picture, because he's got this glorious energy that's joyful and life affirming, and it's so real because he recognizes that it's not always beautiful and peaceful. That, you know, we have those days when it's hard to see the brightness or the joy, and we have those days when we wonder what it's all about. But that's part of the walk, that's part of the human journey. And so I hope that this week you have felt that sense of connection to the human journey, to being human, even if it's been a little bit argumentative or a little bit confusing. It's the joy of it. He's talking about all of us needing to ask for more help, to ask for more healing. He knows I find that difficult. He knows that I sometimes get stuck with the asking for help. That I kind of go, but I am getting better. But he just encourages everybody. We all want to help each other. That's what's so special about being human. there's this beautiful part of us that recognises how lovely it is to help one another, and yet we don't let anybody help us. He finds that a bit what now and again, but it's so important to help and request help, even if it's not exactly straightforward. Help me, just I wonder if. I'm always asking upwards as much as I can, and I'm laughing because he just flashed some figures on the screen on the YouTube thing that I keep an eye on the live stream on YouTube, and he just caught my attention with 1111. Yes, we're building, we're being asked to build forward into a better future, and we're being asked to understand all of the healing work that we're doing is important, that the more we can be receptive to the healing energy, to ask for the healing, to ask one another, can you give me a hand with this, or are you free to do that, just so that we can create these positive energy flows, because those positive energy flows eventually soak into the collective unconscious. Part of clearing the Earth's aura, the collective unconscious, is putting in the stored positive memories, the stored positive experiences, and being able to help one another and to ask for help creates a positive flow. Sometimes out of a very low vibrational, not at all positive flow, because if you ask and somebody says, yeah, I can do that for you, it feels amazing. I always feel amazing if somebody can help me, and I also feel amazing if I can help them because they've said what they need of me. That's fantastic. So as we go forward into the next week, there will be more opportunities to ask for and receive help, as well as opportunities to offer and to give help, and to create this lovely positive flow. We're heading into new moon. Full moon. Sorry, I've been watching the moon in the garden as well because she's visible in the daytime. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We have had some activity. We've had it's taken the name out of my head now. He's calling them fireballs. They're not called fireballs. We've had the Lyra meteorite storms. Sure. So we've had that sort of in the last week or so in the energy. We're also, as I say, progressing into a full moon, and coming to the time of being able to send out our positive intentions again and ask for anything we want. So as we move into that, some of the turbulence you might have been feeling is just going to die back. It's going to be a little bit more peaceful from Sunday through to Tuesday. Still a little bit of fireworky stuff going on tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, but then a nice pause of peaceful and a very enlightening full moon. There's a really strong positive healing vibe coming from this full moon that is all about feeling connected to Mother Earth. Without the moon, we wouldn't have the tides. We have this lovely, again, another strong relationship, a symbiotic relationship with the moon. So we when the moon is coming in peaceful, we feel that peace as well. So I do feel as if we've got 2 or 3 peaceful days. Then we're into the next energy blast. We're regularly receiving energy beamed at us from all of the helpers and assistants, from the Earth's guardian angels themselves. from the star beings and all of the wonderful beings who are here to help us. So expect towards Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week more turbulence. In a sense, there's still a little bit of shaking up and shaking out to do. It's time to really think well of yourself, think positively of yourself. It's Parashal's healing is about healing. At the moment, our view of ourselves as individuals and our view of ourselves as a collective humanity, we've had a bit of a downer on ourselves for quite a while, and what's what's trying to be highlighted is that we've no reason to have a downer. We have got so much positive to offer. There's some wonderful things that we can achieve when we work together. But we don't work well together whilst we're busy thinking, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I have no value. So the healing at the moment is to try to get us to recognise what value we've got, how important each one of us is. I know that sometimes people take the view or make the argument that one person just, can't be that important. But it's an energy signal missing from the whole signal. It's like saying, well, we can have an orchestra, but we're not having 3 violins. We'll leave them out. It alters the sound. It changes. So we're like that orchestra. We all need to be in there doing our little part because it contributes to a wonderful whole. A beautiful tune, the song of humanity. We have an amazing, amazing song to sing, a vibration to contribute to the universe. It's missing its vital tones at the minute because not all of us are recognising our part, our ability, our contribution, and we need to change that. So over the coming week, remind yourself, I am playing my part. Remind yourself that you are here doing the best you can for the greater good, that you have a reason and a mission and a purpose, and it's a good one. That if you aren't here, your uniqueness is missing from the whole orchestra. I hope that makes sense. I hope that Parashal's been able to inspire you with the words he's given me to speak to you tonight. I hope that you find lots of laughter in the coming week and lots of joy, and that you embrace this connection with Mother Earth and embrace the idea of asking for help so that the archangels and all of the non-physical beings, as well as the humans around you, can respond and show you that we think you matter. Take care, everyone. I'll be back next Thursday. Just had to think what day I was on. I'll be back next Thursday saying who knows what with who knows who. But I'm sure that whatever it is, they will do their best to communicate through me, and I'll do my best to try and communicate on their behalf. Enjoy your week, and thank you everybody for watching. Whenever you watch, it is really appreciated. Appreciated by the guides and inspirers, because they want us to have a happy, joyful, joyous life. Take care. Bye.